Hello there, this is Carrie Rhodes. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am bringing you a video of the card I made for the Pumpkin Kisses and Harvest Wishes blog hop with Cat Scrappiness and Not Too Shabby. Cat Scrappiness has some amazing dies, stamps, and embellishments, and recently the Not Too Shabby shop started carrying these products, so they've collaborated to do this blog hop with lots of prizes. So I'm going to be showcasing the Happy Fall stamp set from Not Too Shabby and this tri-frame slimline die set from the Cat Scrappiness slimline collection of dies. Here is the largest die from this set. You can see it cuts out a frame with a stitched border, and there's 3 different size frames. I'll show those again once we get the coloring and stamping all done. So I'm stamping a variety of images from the Happy Fall stamp set. I stamped them all 3 times with some Copic friendly ink onto some white cardstock, and then I'll be coloring these out in some beautiful fall colors. So to start with the pumpkin, I am coloring this first with my lightest color. This is YR02, and I'm just going to fill in the majority of the pumpkin with this lightest color, laying down some marker to moisten the paper, which helps with the blending. And then I'm bringing in E07 as like a super dark shadow color, and then I'll proceed with my other 2 colors. This is YR07, which I would normally consider to be my darkest color, but on this particular pumpkin I also threw in that E07. So I'm just creating shadows where I think it would be darker on the pumpkin around those natural lines in the stamped image, and then going around and blending that out with my YR16, and that will be my medium tone. And then I'll come back in with my Y02 and blend that out. And I believe after I colored the other images, I actually did do a second layer of all of that. I colored the leaf next to it with those same 3 YR markers, and so I didn't show that. And now I'm coloring the acorn, which I think is adorable. I think it's one of my favorite images in this set. For sure, my favorite is the crow. I don't know why, but I think crows are really cute when they're little cartoony crows. I don't know why. I think they're adorable. So I'm just coloring this out so it has the darker little cap at the top with some E markers, and I think it turned out really cute. I love the little cross hatching on the top. So my crow is going to have a rich yellow beak. So cool with the cute big beak on this bird. So I used 3 different Y markers, Y17, Y15, and Y08. And then for his body, I will color that with some T markers, which they're kind of my favorite of the gray markers. It's tonal gray, so it's not particularly cool and it's not particularly warm. It's tonal. I don't know how else to explain it, but my darkest color is T7, and my medium is T5, and my lightest is T3. So I like to start with my lightest, bring in my darkest, blend that out with my medium color, and then go over it again with my lightest color. That's most of the time how I do it, but I don't really have any super hard and fast rules when it comes to Copic coloring. I just want to have fun and enjoy the process, and so that's what I do. So here I'm coloring the cinnamon sticks and leaves. I guess it's just one leaf on my little drink here, and then I wanted this mug for whatever reason to be blue. I just love adding a touch of blue or turquoise blue into my fall cards. So that's where it came into play on this particular card. And I'm using BG72 as my darkest, and then for my lightest, I don't have many in between, so I have B00, and it worked out just fine. I think I could fill in a few gaps next time I order Copics for this particular color line right here. All right, so then I added some white highlights with my Jelly Roll pen to bring these to life, and I love white gel pen, love it. So I love adding it to the eyes and the cheeks. Those are my favorite. And then on to the acorn and the drink as well to finish those off. And here you can see all the images colored and cut out, and then the white highlights with the gel pen and all the markers that I used to color them as well. And now we're going to move on to the background for this card. I am making a slimline. So this particular piece measures 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I know the lighting kind of went weird in this video. That's because it's now nighttime. I came back and worked on this card a little bit later, and yeah, the sun's going down earlier and earlier now as we move closer to fall here in Idaho. So I'm using the new Speckled Egg Distress Oxide for this card, and I'm trying to have it be darker on the edges and lighter in the middle. That's the look I'm going for. So you'll see that there's, you know, a kind of a light spot there, and I meant to do that. So once I get that all blended in, I'm not super concerned about a perfect blend. Not a lot of this is going to actually show, and I'm going over it with a stencil and going to put a little like decorative pattern on top of this. It's going to be pretty subtle because I wasn't very light-handed with the first layer, and that's okay. I just wanted a little interest in this card. So if you're the person holding this card, you're going to see it more than you do on the pictures of this card, but it really adds a little something extra. I always say love is in the details, and so this is one of those details that shows people there's a little love in the card, right? All right, so there it is. I am going to splatter it with some water. Now I have found that the speckled egg does not oxidize as much as some of the other Distress Oxide colors, so the splattering is very subtle. All right, so here's that die set again. I wanted to show you that I'm cutting the smallest frame from the scrap piece left over from the middle of cutting the largest, and then I put the measurements for all 3 of those frames on the screen so that you could see the sizes that they are. And you can like layer these together, use all 3, and you'll have a little bit of a space in between, a really cool look. All right, so there's the smallest one, also with the stitch detail, and I am going to use both of those for today's shaker card. And I'm going to put some Tombow liquid glue on the back and let that set up for just a minute, so when I glue this down to my window sheet, that glue's not going to squish out. So I'll do the same with the smaller piece, and I just eyeballed putting that in the center. There might be a better way, but it's only a tiny bit crooked, so let's go for it. Next, I'm going to use some lightweight, cheaper cardstock and die cut 6 of these same frames, and I'm die cutting them now at the same time. Now that I realized I'm going to use both, you can die cut them at the same exact time, even all 3 of them at the same exact time. And now I'm going to glue 6 of the large pieces together and 6 of the smaller pieces together, and use those as the lift that my card needs to make a shaker card. So once those are all glued together, then they get glued to the back of the brown frame, and then I will add the same to that smaller frame in the center. So now I have the opportunity here to do 2 different shakers, one around the edge and one in the middle. So I added some anti-static powder to my window sheet, and then I'm going to add some chunky glitter to that outer frame, so it'll have one shaker element there. And then once I have that all set, I'm going to do the hot cocoa sequin mix from Cat Scrappiness right there in the middle, which goes perfect for this fall themed card, and I have those coffee drinks on the outside, so it goes really well with that as well. So layer those on the inside. So you see here with these frames, you can make one card with 2 different shaker sections. I did add a little bit of that chunky glitter in with my sequins, and now to enclose this, I added glue to both frames and glued on my ink blended and stenciled background. For my sentiment, I am using a stamp from the Happy Fall set that says Happy Pumpkin Spice Season, and I'm putting that onto some dark orange cardstock to just bring out more of that orange color in my stamping. So that will be die cut out with a banner die, and I made it a little extra longer than I normally would so that it fits really nicely on the slimline card. Now I'm going to figure out how I want all of these images arranged, and so this is not how fast my hands normally go. I sped that up just so you could see the process that I do. And once I had that set, then I just set to gluing them down, and some I did pop up with foam squares, so it's kind of like every other image. Whatever's in front got popped up and the things behind got glued down. So that's how I did that. And then I had a pumpkin there in the middle of the card and two on the end. Those are kind of like my anchor pieces, I feel, because this is a pumpkin spice card. But I think all these images are so fun. And I didn't end up using the scarecrow from the stamp set, which I think is so adorable. I should probably do something on the inside of this card. Maybe I'll go ahead and stamp the scarecrow on the inside because he is super cute. So I'm gluing that down to a white card base, which is going to help mask my white edges of my shaker card. So that card base measures 8.5 by 3.5 when it's folded and closed down. And then I'm adding some little tiny gems from Honeybee Stamps. I actually got these as a free gift with an order from the Not Too Shabby shop, and they were the perfect colors to go with this card. So I added a bunch of those in and around all my stamped images. They already have adhesive on the back, which made it really easy to add a bunch to this card, but I didn't stop with the bling there. So I also brought out my diamond stickles, which I was only going to add to the whipped cream on this card, but I loved it so much I actually added it to every single stamped image. It just gave it that look of like sugared or icy. I don't know. I loved it, and I felt like it was a little bit unexpected on a fall card, but also really special. So that finishes up today's card. You're going to want to make sure and click over to my blog so you can get all the details on the hop. Hop along, check out what the other designers for this hop have created with these amazing products. And then you're going to want to leave comments and also check out our Instagram posts for this hop because there's more chances to win there. So there's $15 gift certificates being given away to 4 winners from the blog post and 2 winners from Instagram. So make sure you do all of that, and then be sure to check out the different social media pages for Not Too Shabby and Cat Scrappiness. I'll have all of this information for you on my blog so you don't miss out. I thank you so much for stopping by and hope you have enjoyed today's card, and I will be back again very soon with more stamping cuteness just for you. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and ring the little bell so that YouTube will tell you next time I have a video out. If you're interested in any of the products that I used, I will have them listed and linked for you below. I hope that you're having a fabulous day and happy stamping. Bye.